The case of the careful gardener. Miss Marple set down her teacup with a gentle click as Mrs. Bantry finished her tale. So you see, Mrs. Bantry said, wringing her handkerchief, poor Mr. Greenley was found dead in his greenhouse yesterday morning. The doctor says it was the pesticide, somehow he ingested it. The police are calling it a tragic accident, but his daughter insists someone poisoned him. How dreadful, Miss Marple murmured. And what does the daughter say? She claims her father was meticulous about safety, never ate in the greenhouse, always washed his hands. She says he'd been worried lately, mentioned that someone had been interfering with his roses. Miss Marple's needles clicked thoughtfully. His roses, was he entering them in competition?
The village show.
Yes, he'd won Best Bloom for 12 years running. This year, Henry Wilcox was determined to beat him with his new hybrid. I see. And when was Mr. Greenley found? Tuesday morning, by his gardener. The odd thing is, Monday evening he'd telephoned the vicar, quite excited. Said he'd discovered something important about his roses and would reveal it at the show on Saturday. Miss Marple was quiet for a moment, watching a sparrow in the garden. Tell me, was Mr. Greenley left-handed or right-handed? Mrs. Bantry blinked. Right-handed, I believe? Why, and the pesticide, where was it kept? On a high shelf. He had to use a step-ladder to reach it. How very interesting, Miss Marple said softly. I wonder, ... was Mr. Greenley's left hand stained at all when he was found? Why, yes. The police mentioned green staining on his left palm. They assumed it was from handling plants. Miss Marple set down her knitting. I'm reminded of my nephew's friend, a young man who painted his fence. He was right-handed? You see, so naturally he held the brush in his right hand and steadied himself with his left, which became quite stained with paint. Mrs. Bantry frowned. I don't follow. If Mr. Greenley needed a stepladder to reach the pesticide, and he was right-handed, his right hand would have gripped the ladder while his left hand reached for the bottle. Why then was only his left hand stained green, not from the pesticide, which would have been colorless, but from something else entirely? Understanding dawned on Mrs. Bantry's face. Someone placed something on that shelf, Miss Marple continued. Something Mr. Greenley would grab by mistake in the dim greenhouse. Something green that he would hold in his left hand while climbing down, then inadvertently touch to his face or mouth. Not the pesticide bottle at all, but something coated with it. His roses! Mrs. Bantry gasped. Someone painted pesticide on the roses he was about to cut for the show. The ones on the high shelf where he trained his prize climbers. Precisely. And I suspect if we examine Mr. Wilcox's new hybrid, we'll find it's not quite as new as he claims. Rather like Mrs. Harmon's original recipe for seed cake, which I recognized from an old cookbook she'd borrowed from me. Some people simply cannot bear to lose. The police, when informed, found traces of pesticide on the climbing roses and Mr. Wilcox's fingerprints on Mr. Greenley's greenhouse door. He confessed that very evening. As Miss Marple later told her nephew Raymond, human nature is much the same everywhere, dear. The competitive spirit, when taken too far, leads to the most terrible things, even in a village garden.